Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took one trade this morning. It's only 4:16. I'm already done trading. I'm already done entering the trade in my spreadsheet. So this is pretty much ideal. I have, as always, the Webull pre-market top gainers screener open, organized by volume. And when I was trading it, Aese was number 2. I also had SLGG, which was number 1 on the list. And let's look at the video right now of the trade. So you can see that SLGG, I marked out the high of the previous session, which was also higher than the previous day, and that's my criteria to look for an entry. But you can see this morning it was trading below, so it has to break out through that level, and then I can take the first pullback. So there's no trade on this one at this point. And then Aese, I just got on the list, and you can see the chart looks a little funny. I wanted to show you this because this does happen. This does happen. And what you have to do is keep on switching through the time frames until it clears up, and you want to do that before you take an entry, because at this point you're not really sure if this is a new high or not. And if you're trading, if you're trying to trade like I am, where you don't want to get in unless it's after a new high, then you need to know that information, because what if this is like $1 below the previous high? So let me see if so you can see me, I'm trying to fast forward it, but you saw me click through the time frames there, and now the chart looks normal, and I was zoomed out there so that I could see that this is a new high, and it's also higher than the high of the previous day. So that means that I can look for an entry. My entry is always after the pullback. I wait for a 1-minute candle to make a new high, and that's where I enter. One of the things that was tripping me up earlier this week that I've since resolved is making sure that I keep an eye on the clock over here, because sometimes if you're staring at the chart, you kind of forget where you are in the 1-minute range, and you need to know that. You need to know if it's like 55 seconds before, at the end of the minute, because when a new candle pops up, it could kind of shock you and open up higher, and you kind of are frazzled. You weren't ready for that new candle to appear. You're focused on the one candle, waiting for it to break out over the previous high. Also, the real important thing is that you can see right now I'm hovering over this candle. So I have in my mind that I need to see this candle hit 344 or better before I take an entry. So have that number in mind, and then all of a sudden this candle's done forming, and I'm looking at the next one now. I don't know what price my entry is, because I'm still focused on that 344. So that's really the important thing about watching the time, occasionally making sure, you want to know at least like when you're like 10 or 15 seconds away from the new candle, to now switch your focus from the high of this candle to the high of that candle. And that happened on this trade, so you'll see it. So, right at that point, I still had that 344 number in my head. Actually 348 after I hit refresh. It showed a little bit higher. So I'm thinking 348.88. We're about halfway through the minute. Let me fast forward a little bit here. So now it's getting close to the new minute. So you see I'm now hovering over this candle, and I say to myself, okay, now the high I need to look for is 339, or the price I need to look for to get in is 339. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking for 339, and I'd like to drag it over so that the candles are forming near the bubble, so my eye doesn't have to travel as far. All this stuff happens super fast, and my fingers are on the hotkeys right now. And in the video they would be on the hotkey. There you go. See that 340, and then I hit you saw me trigger my hotkeys instantly, and the price jumped so quickly, even with my 3-cent offset. I have a 3-cent offset. So where this tells me that where I triggered was at 340. The price was at 340 when I hit my hotkeys, and it went all the way to my offset at 343, and even that wasn't enough. It still didn't get filled. That rarely happens. I mean, I haven't seen that happen in at least the last 30 or 40 trades that I've taken. So that's very unusual, but this is a perfect example of why you need to be doing every single thing right when you're trading like this, trying to catch the exact entry that you want. And if you don't get it, if you get slightly higher, that's okay. At least you know that you did everything in your ability to get the best entry possible, and now you just base your 1R and 2R off of the actual entry you got. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. And you can see that I got the price, well, almost the price that I wanted on the pullback. At least I got filled. That's the important thing, because when a stock does that little jump like that, that's usually a sign of a lot of strength, and all the more reason you want to be in it. So now I'm getting my line ready to show me visually where my stop loss is. That way, if the price chops really quickly, I can just get out, because that does happen. Normally I have this pulled down a little bit, and I screwed up before I started. I didn't move it out of my way. So again, all these little things, these little details, these are the things you got to get in the habit of, so that when you're in the middle of a trade, everything goes smoothly and nothing trips you up. So you can see that that here, I still have it up here, my 2-hour calculator. I put in the actual entry, not the entry that I wanted, and the actual stop. Because if I put the entry that I wanted, that brings my profit target down, and if I get stopped out on the trade, it's a 1-hour loss, and I was only going to be getting maybe a 1.5 return if the trade won. So that's why you want to use the actual entry. All right, so now here's the other thing. I'm trying to just go through all my steps. This is what I do every single trade, and you need to have that stuff down pat. So now that I'm in the trade and I've got my stop loss marked out, I've already got my profit target order out. I put it out whenever the price is above my entry. Now I mark out that level. That way, if the price comes down below my entry, I can cancel that order, but I still have that line there. If I need to put it back out again, it's obvious where the price is, because sometimes these things move really fast and you could miss the opportunity to get out at your target. So now I'm just kind of housekeeping while the trade is playing out, like trying to get these lines on the exact price that I want them. You can do whatever you want. My routine is that if the bottom of the candle is 328, like it is, or sorry, yeah, it's 328 here. The bottom of this candle is 328. So my stop loss is 327. I like to put the stop loss line at 328, and that way if I see the candlestick go below it, then I know I got to hit my hotkey to get out. So that way if I miss the price in the bubble, if I just visually see the candle jump below, I know I got to get out. So that's why I'm messing around with it so much. Also to distract me from what's going on a little bit. Takes the stress off. And then same thing over here, just want to get that line right at 375. Again, if I have to cancel the order, I know exactly where to put it back. So luckily on this one, this was pretty much an ideal 2-hour trade. I didn't have to ride too much choppiness. It didn't take very long. There was just double checking that I have all my orders in the right place. According to my 2-hour calculator that I entered the information in, all that stuff is important to do. So let's fast forward a little bit here. Try to imagine yourself in the trade. I've already been in it now about 4 minutes. What would you be doing in this situation? Would you be tempted to pull this down and just get out for that profit because you see it chopping around? That's what I used to do. And that's why I was never able to stay green consistently. And ever since I've been strictly trading this 2R thing, now I'm over 4 months in the green with data to back it up. So I know that even if I hit like a rough patch where things just don't work out, I know that it's just a matter of time before things swing back in my favor. And that's what you want to do. You want to be trading off of statistics, not luck, and not feel. You don't want to try to guess what's going to happen. Is this thing going to continue higher? Is it going to pull back? That's what I used to do, and that's a huge mistake. It's not up to you to decide whether the stock is going to continue higher or come back down. You've picked your entry based on a high probability pattern. You've picked your stock and your setup on a high probability pattern. Now you're in the trade. Now you just wait, let it play out. It either hits your profit target or hits your stop loss. And either way, it's a successful trade as long as you follow your plan. And it just so happened that this one worked out, hit my profit target. It's been a good month so far. This is not what I expect regularly. Let me unlock this and show you what's been happening this month so far. Every single day has been green, and that's not normal. That's not going to be, when you're trading 2R, you're asking a decent amount, from the price movement to to go up 2 times your risk, but you only need about a 40% win rate to remain profitable. And that's why this strategy works so well, because it's not always going to be like it is right now, where you got 4 green days in a row. And my win rate is pretty ridiculous, definitely over 80%, because I have, let me see, 4, 5, 6 trades with 1 loser. So I don't know what's 5 out of 6, 82 or something like that. 83.3% win rate. So that's not normal, and that's not what I expect in the long term with this. But when it happens, it's great, because what it's going to do is build a cushion that, if I get into a rough patch where I have a few red days in a row trading this strategy, then, I'll be protected by this green. So we'll see, how long this green streak lasts. But again, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm not really worried about a high win rate, and that's the beauty of the 2R trading. So let me know if you have any questions about this trade or any others that I take. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you'd like to see me continue making these videos. And I just want to let you know, if you're still hanging around, I plan on, in May, starting to test a version of this strategy designed for the market open. And I'm pretty excited about it, because I have a very strong feeling it's going to work just as well. And it's something I've never really done exactly like this before. So stick around for that. If you're someone who can't trade in the pre-market, or you're not interested in pre-market trading, I will be trading the open starting in May. So check that out. All right, guys. And I always like to leave you with, always take your stop loss no matter what. Always honor your profit target, and you should be green in the long run. Take care.